And we're live. Tom Cassidy here. I'm here with Roelien. We're in the middle of World Cup fever, sort of.
Yeah,
My
well, you ain't anymore, Tom.
Not exactly what I say. We're in the middle of World Cup fever, sort of. The
Yeah.
sort of being that of the countries that I'm interested in, one of my au pairs is Spanish, so they didn't last very long. Of course, interested in England. My wife's American, and the other au pair is French. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we've got some interest still there. I mean, France are doing okay, and the US won their first game, but England have been terrible, absolutely useless, and Spain were hopeless as well. So
Our Spain was quite funny, I think.
it was very interesting watching them. They were just they almost like thought, well, if they can't do it their way, which is the same way they've been doing it for the last say 10 years, then they weren't going to try anything else and just kind of accept it. Seemed really like, okay, well, we had a good innings, we did okay, and fair enough. They didn't seem to try anything, didn't have any urgency. England were just not. England are just rubbish, really. I mean, we like to think that we're good um, because we've got a very good Premier League, but actually the players are all international. Yeah, and Holland are doing very well. Netherlands are doing great.
Yeah, they're doing okay. But Belgium too. You watch Belgium?
Belgium are quite a good. Yeah. Well, when is that? Is that today? No.
No, I think tomorrow. I think Belgium is tomorrow and Holland is Monday again.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we're here not really to talk about the World Cup as much, even though you've done a little bit of translating
Yeah.
already. But
Uh,
here, really, to talk about anything you like. What would you like to talk about? Why don't you just let me know where you are in since we last spoke?
yes. Well, with the translating, there's not a lot of work, but the work that's there, actually, it's quite funny. I didn't realize that I would enjoy it that much
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's very, very stressful, but it's kind of stressful in a really fun way. It's just like this kind of dangerous sports that you have this really adrenaline kick.
Yeah. Well, you've
It's
got to
like
you've
that. Yeah,
got to
really.
do it in such a short period of time, don't you?
Well, yeah, it's completely focused because you can't lose it for 1 second. And it really makes it, yeah, good, really this adrenaline kick afterwards. It's kind of funny. Plus, yes, also the interviews are kind of funny, especially with Van Gaal. They're funny. He's a funny guy.
So, do you speak Belgian as well?
I have to, yes,
Because
yes.
I
And
think
I was even asked to do it in French too, but I declined that. And I'm happy I declined it because I can't do it fast enough in French. So
Because of course the one that you showed us the other day with I
yeah, it
think
was
Vincent Company must have been from Belgium, right?
exactly. He's the captain of Belgium. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
I'd worked that bit out and I thought, oh, that's interesting. She must be speaking Belgian as well.
yeah.
Very, very good, very talented, fluent in at least three languages for translating purposes. That's pretty good.
Well, I'll have some news for that because I was asked to. I'm going to meet the people tomorrow. I was asked to go to Romania.
No way.
Yes, well, I have to exactly talk about it, what it is, but they were looking for a driver, and yes, because I'm not really good at my Romanian is not that good, but I can how do you call it?
You can get by.
I can get by. I can get by already in Romanian. Yes. Actually, people who do not speak Romanian themselves think that I'm very good, but I'm not that
Of
good.
course.
It's more that my accent seems to be quite good. My friends say so.
Are
Well,
you,
yes.
sorry, this is where you go, isn't it? When you've got a place in Romania, haven't you?
No, I don't have a place in Romania at all.
Oh,
I've never been there.
oh, where is it you go to then that you say, or is
Uh,
it say
this,
you'd like to go to Romania?
no, I always go to Germany.
Ah, okay.
That,
Sorry,
that, that's
my mistake.
Yeah, that's just 3 hours drive from here. No, this is Romania. It's 2,000 kilometers.
So how do you know it then? How have you picked it up?
Well, I've got Romanian friends, so I kind of teach them Dutch, and then they teach me Romanian. So we talk.
Ah,
1 hour we speak Dutch, and then 1 hour we speak Romanian.
interesting.
So
Yeah,
that's how
that's
we
good.
do it. Yeah.
So tell us about this opportunity or this possibility.
Well, it's we have to go there to pick up two girls for a holiday in the Netherlands. It's some kind of stichting for to help children, poor children in Romania. So actually, I'm not sure about it yet. I'm also not sure about how they are going to compensate me.
Huh. When you say you're not sure, they haven't let you know roughly um, what the deal is, yeah?
Well, no. I don't know because I've been looking at the website of
Mm.
this stichting, this organization,
Mm.
and say that everyone does things voluntarily.
Hmm.
So, and also, well, of course, like trip and food. I mean, they organize that, but I don't like that at all because I know those things. I'm a vegetarian.
Yes,
Most of
yeah,
the time, it means that I can't eat. I
yeah,
don't have a normal meal in 10 days.
yeah. That doesn't sound too much fun.
But I don't know. I'm not sure. I go there tomorrow. I'll see. Maybe they do have some budget.
Mm.
Because in fact I'd like to go there, definitely. I'd like to go there, and I think I'd be of good help to them because it's a bit, this organization is a bit weird because they do this help in Romania, but I don't think there's anyone who speaks Romanian. I think no, it's really, it's a bit weird. Bit weird.
Sound-
So, well, maybe it's good that I'd go there and check things out, what is
Huh.
exactly going on.
And how are you coming across this stuff?
Well, I was just looking for work. There's this website where sometimes I get some work at making a website or doing some other stuff. So
Huh.
that's where I found them.
Interesting. And has anything come from the there was a I think the last time we were talking about there was sort of perhaps the chance of a part-time role happening in was it that might have been in Belgium actually.
Yeah, actually, this was in Antwerp. No, I haven't heard anything anymore of
Okay.
that. No, I haven't heard anything.
Is it up to you to chase up or will they what's the plan? Or are you sort of saying, oh well,
Yes, I could call them. But
you're not really feeling it. Yeah.
no. I don't think if it would be something, then I would have heard it already. I
Yeah.
think the guy he put my resume over there, so
Hmm.
maybe it's still lying there on a desk, or maybe they just have no clue. Have no clue. So I can call them next. I can call them next week. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so what would what's going through your what thoughts are you having at the moment? Because one of the interesting things is that I know this because there've been times in my life, and all the time now, whenever you don't work for somebody else, you're always thinking about what's happening next. When you're a consultant or when you've got your own business, you're always thinking,
Yeah.
and and certainly you have dips, don't you? You have times when you're really busy and everything's going great, and you have times when you're not sure what's happening next. And
Yeah.
those times are when you like have your you got a barrage of thoughts, most of which come from the script at that point, and they kind of hit you from all left, right, and center. So be interesting. What are kind of the main thoughts that you're having at the moment?
Well, like feelings like a panic.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What's the I mean, without going into details, in
Mhm.
terms of your current financial situation, are you able to, support yourself for a set amount of days going forward before you get income again, or would you then have to start, selling possessions or
Yeah,
bicycles?
yeah, well, really, I'm at that point already.
Yeah.
Definitely that I stop paying my bills and things like that. So I know I shouldn't do that. That's not very smart.
Well, it's like it's a question of, I mean, look, there are times in life where you know, you might use the credit cards more than you would ideally like to, and there are times when you think, well, you know, I really should pay this, but you know, it's going to leave me a little bit strapped for cash if I do. So, you know, ultimately, as long as you're going to keep alive, you can work out a way to sort of reduce the impact. You might, if you stop paying things like electricity, pretty soon they'll actually get a little bit cross with you, stuff like
Yes,
that. Yeah.
exactly. And then I can't work anymore, so I can't.
Yeah. So that doesn't really work that well. But are there so when we talked about things last time, you got into the routine of writing, and you
Yes.
decided to do something along the lines of a part time or something that would enable you to just make enough money to make ends meet, but not occupy too much brain space, so you can be still free for the creative work. The problem is if you don't have enough, not the problem, but the challenge will be if you don't have enough income coming through, then you aren't free enough mentally to actually create in the time that you've got allocated to create, or at least in my experience.
Yes. No,
So
it's my experience also. So that's why I hope that I can that there is some way that those people who want to go to Romania that they can compensate me.
yeah,
So I've already been thinking also because maybe they're not going to compensate me then for the trip, but maybe they can compensate me in some other way. They might have some jobs or some work, something else. Well, and that's also possible. But anyway, I don't know.
we'll see.
Maybe they're going to pay me. So it's possible. What I see of this organization, I think they would need me.
Yeah,
It's so crazy they don't have someone who speaks Romanian.
yeah.
It's completely ridiculous.
If you can speak Dutch, Belgian, English, French reasonably well, certainly well enough to get by, and Romanian.
And
Um, I,
German.
Anything else? German, presumably, as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, my German is real good. Yeah.
So I would have thought that there's got to be tons of people looking for that level of communication skill, right? If,
Well,
there's got to be lots of jobs that involve that sort of thing.
really now, well, these are all jobs like I'm doing right now. I think it's a job you just like waiting, and then you make 10, 30 euros, and then you wait again. I don't know.
Mm, mm.
I don't know.
You
No.
know, sort of individual. No, but I mean, I would have thought that there's got with your skill set, there's got to be like a sort of like a community type, not project, but a maybe an environment like a park or something like that that would have some. But I mean, I'm just thinking like some really basic work that you could get that you just get paid an hourly amount, so you can at least
Mm-mm.
um, like a tourism type thing or something like that with your languages and the ability
Yeah.
to,
Mm-mm.
I would have thought something like that, even part time. I mean, the number one rule of being an entrepreneur of any type is, well, the top 10 rules, number one is never run out of cash.
Yeah.
And number two is never run out of cash. And so is 3 to 10, because if you run out of cash, it really does make things, it means you're going to be in your script all the time. You'll have cut the connection with your creative powers, unless you're a remarkably special person. In my experience, I found that when I've really been in situations where I was expecting things to come in and hoping things would come in and hoping to close some big business deals, so I'd put a lot of effort into it, and then I found that actually I've gone 6 months without earning anything because I was putting together like seriously big deals and they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
come off. I've
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, I suddenly find that, oh, right. And then, of course, I like to say I never let it get that bad where I wasn't paying bills, but that's not really entirely true. I never stopped paying things like electricity and stuff like that and internet and things like that. But I would I would arrange to pay my tax a little bit later than perhaps the government would want and stuff like that, because I always had the children, all those sorts of things, and
Yeah.
I did find that it just gave me the opportunity to spend much more time on my script and not enough time doing my so I wasn't useful really. So the point is, if you're trying to do something and setting it up and it's a degenerative way, it's kind of predicated on you running out of stuff and just hoping that things can happen before you run out, I think it just makes it harder. So I would kind of counsel you to say, going just putting everything down for a second. What is occupying most of your time in the whole work thing? It's just literally having enough money to make sure you don't go backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what sort of, have you worked out how much you would actually need to bring in on a monthly basis to make sure you aren't going backwards? You don't need to be saving up. You don't need to be, really happy with a particular wage, because of course you could go back into the corporate world, I would have thought, relatively easily and make, a good quid again, but that wouldn't then really work either for you. But have you worked out on a monthly basis, look, if I had this many euros coming in a month, then I would be okay?
Yes, well, I know that.
You work that out. So what have you then narrowed down all the things that you could do that would basically mean that you are just okay, but in a continuous basis? Because the problem with doing the piecemeal type stuff and the shift work and the small jobs is, I think that occupies quite a lot of your psychic RAM, because you're always thinking about what might happen next.
Well, I've been I've been translating my Stopping to Smoke book while being on
Yeah.
a shift, and I'm kind of almost finished. I'm gonna finish it today or tomorrow. So, and it will be done at Amazon at the same time when the collective book will come out.
So that's brilliant. That's really good. But I suppose the thing is, if you're relying on the income from that in the short term,
Uh,
that might not be something that will work that well for you. Relying on, you see, from my experience, things like books, it's a very they're a very long fuse.
yeah, it takes more time.
Yeah, and I think if you wanted to, well, there are ways to make money shorter term in it. If you did have a good program and you could turn that book into a course and put a course up, then you could make money in a much shorter period probably than from a book. Because if you're doing a course, say on Udemy, for example, or any of these online learning platforms, there's much more profit in doing a course rather than doing a one-off book.
Yes, well, I think I've been looking through this book now. I think I could do a course of it. Yes, definitely.
You see, what if you did a course of it, and okay, this is going to take some time, but you could do it in a few different languages, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
You could do
Yeah,
it in English, obviously. You could do it in Dutch and Belgian. You could
sure.
probably certainly do it in German. You could probably do it in Romanian.
No,
And
no, my Romanian is not that good enough. Not good enough yet.
okay, so you could, but what I'm thinking is you could have still the text all in English, but you could have like the videos that where you talk people through the main points could be in Romanian, possibly.
Yeah, probably in a couple of months I could do that. Not
But
yet now, but
okay, well
half a year, yes, why not? Yeah.
let's do things that you can do right away now. You see, German, a lot of people probably want to go out smoking in Germany. There's a lot of smokers in Germany, right?
Well, there's a lot of smokers in Germany, definitely. Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't know how many smoke. Obviously, English is good because if you do a course in English, then it appeals to the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Dutch, everybody.
Uh-uh.
But if you go for a course in German as well and Dutch, maybe get those three languages sorted. I'm just thinking that if well, the other way to do it is something that I'm just about to do as well. So this is hot off the press. There is a different there is an online learning provider called Flock, FLOQQ.com. And what they do is they allow you to promote other people's courses. So they've got like a built-in affiliate marketing program. So if you get your course on that platform, anybody, and you can tell anybody that they can then promote your course and then have a 50-50 split in the revenue.
Oh yeah.
So that's a built-in affiliate marketing program with minimum effort at all.
Mm.
Um, and that's what I'm just about to do for my reasonable eating program. I'm just about to I'm going to put my reasonable eating course onto this platform and just say, look, to anybody who wants to, anyone who wants to share the word and get people to actually sign up for this course on Flock, you get 50% of the revenue. Now the point is, you aren't spending any money, you're not marketing it on paying any money, you're just incentivizing people through a standard affiliate program. And for me, that sounds like it's kind of a nice win-win situation. So if you do know anyone who says, look, here's my smoking thing, if you send it out to anybody that you know and they sign up for it, then you get 50% of the revenue. You might put it at, what would people spend for smoking course? Maybe 30 euros, something like that. Not an enormous amount, but something like that. That's not insignificant. It's certainly a course you can make a lot more revenue than a book, because a book, what are you going to sell? Maybe if it's a Kindle book, it's like only a couple of euros. If it's even on Amazon, what, maybe 6 or 8 euros, maybe 10 euros?
No, it won't, probably less. Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
4 or 5 euros. So
Yeah.
the point, I think people know how much a book should be roughly, but a guide, a course, a program which actually takes you through and helps you go through and has got other material other than just a book, people pay more for that. They just do, because they know deep down in their subconscious knows how much a book should be. Unless it's a hardback book, it's never going to be much more than about $10, about 10 euros, right? If it's a hardback book, it might go up to maybe 20 euros. But for a course that solves the problem of them, they know that if they read a book, they're not going to really do anything with it. Everyone knows that deep down, the subconscious. Whereas if they go on a program which you're going to perhaps help them through, and the next thing is, if you really think there's a lot of people that want to quit smoking, couldn't you set up a community, a bit like I've done with the Reasonable Wealth and things like that, where you're dripping through on a weekly basis kind of the things that they need to think about to help them with your program. I mean, you structure it however it suits what your content is, but that idea of kind of staying in touch with them and in a regular basis, that could be, I don't know, that could be something that could work quite nicely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can write well and you've got good ideas like helping people stop smoking, you definitely deserve to be in a position where you can get out to lots of people and start making revenue from that. Again, I don't think that that's necessarily going to be something that will bring in money in the 0 to 3 month window, but in the 3 to 6 month window, that could work quite nicely for you.
Yes. I think I will do that, but I also have another short time plan.
Go on.
Actually, I already set up something,
Go on.
but I don't have customers yet. That is like 10 days ago or so. Now I got the idea because I was learning Romanian, and I said, okay, the most important thing in learning a language is that you have a native speaker to practice with.
Yes.
So then I started this to design this kind of excursions in Dutch, where we would speak Dutch, but then not go to a museum or so, but do very ordinary things like going to the supermarket and going to the IKEA, things like that.
Lovely. Yeah.
Then just in small groups, like 3 persons, and people just pay like 5 euros then for an hour. So that's what I'm looking for now. And a friend of mine, she's working at the Hilton Hotel as a beautician. She's handing out leaflets to her customers. And then Amsterdam, that's a group of developers. Lots of experts are there. They've retweeted some tweet of mine.
Excellent.
So
Have you got something to send people to? Is that like a web page or anything like that?
yes, definitely. I've got a web page there. Yeah, where I put some nice Dutch football songs that they can learn.
Brilliant. So that sounds fantastic. So that's live now, is it? Are you taking bookings in theory?
In theory, I'm taking bookings. Yes.
Excellent. So that sounds good. I mean, to me, none of these things sound to me like they're not going to work, right? The only question is time scale.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
your only job is to keep yourself in business long enough to allow these things to work.
Yes.
And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me as well. Whenever I start a new project, I can only make a project succeed if I divert resources from other things to that new project. And so each time I'm stopping doing, say, consulting or something which I know already makes money in order to do something which I don't know, the only variable is to do it in such a way that allows me for it not to be degenerative. That's an art form, because what I want to do, and kind of maybe it's my script or maybe it's my intuition wants to say, look, just go for it, just drop everything, just really go for it, this will work. The problem with that is, and I think that's why the Reasonable Wealth Program is great, because Wallace Wattles in his book The Science of Getting Rich, look, when things come to you, they'll come to you along the lines of transmission that nature's already established through the processes of nature and the work of human hands, and it won't happen through magic. And like the work of nature is seldom instant. It's nearly always as a result of time passing, and you build up credibility, you build up reputation, you get testimonials, it all builds up, it all reinforces itself. It's a very organic process, and I think there's a real sort of rash impulsiveness in us that wants to have things right away and have things now because we know they're good. We'll say, I know that an oak tree is good, but if I plant an acorn just because I know that it's good, I can't really do very much. I can't even throw money at it and get it to grow any faster.
Yeah.
These things take time, and this is if you want something to be permanent and not require a considerable expenditure of energy all the time, then you've got to allow it that time to grow naturally. And so you'll get all the businesses, all these projects that you're doing, all sound to me, yeah, I can see that's a great idea. I can see that some will scale better than others. Obviously, the touring one doesn't scale as well as, say, a course to stop smoking, or a book, for example. But it could perhaps bring in more revenue sooner.
Yes, it's going to be sooner, this
Exactly.
thing, because I know people, and now I've already know some how to target people. I've been speaking to people, and people thought it was a great idea. So,
Oh, it definitely is a good idea, but still, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like next week. So you've got to work out how realistically. Look, if you've got a certain amount of energy and physical resources to put into a project, now you basically got energy, you've got ideas, you've got money, and you've got time. You've got those four things broadly. Okay, so like if you're not putting money into something and it's just a good idea and you're prepared to put energy into it, but you're not putting money, and well, it's probably going to need more of the time thing for it to go. Now you could put in money to a project and you wouldn't need to put in as much time, or you could put in money and time and you wouldn't need to put in as much energy, or you could put in money, time, and energy and it wouldn't need to be as good an idea, if you see what I mean. So it's these sort of four components. You've got a good idea, you're putting energy in it, but if you're not also putting money into it, and it's going to take a reasonable amount of time for it to come to fruition. Now, you've got to work out which one is going to happen soonest, and it might be that the soonest way to get hold of real, actual money is to do something which involves you physically selling your time to a shop, for example. You know what I mean? They say that the quickest way to get money is probably working for someone else right away. Someone says, Roelien, I want you to do this translation. I want you to work, as a waitress or whatever. That's kind of instant, right? Isn't it? You're going to do the work and get paid within, a few hours.
Yes, but that's the thing that didn't. I don't seem to manage to do, because there have been opportunities like that, but all the time something comes in between.
So it might be that those ones weren't. I always say this. Look, when things don't work out that you thought would, that you just didn't ask for something suitable enough for you or big enough for you. But it might mean that it doesn't mean that type of opportunity is not right. I'm not saying it is either. You see, at the end of the day, this is a conversation, and you have to live with yourself and your own script and your own intuition, and you have to use your own discernment. But if you can live in a state where you've got at least that first barrier overcome, which is, can I bring in enough money for me to at least stop going backwards? So it might be that you say, well, listen, okay, it might take a month or two for the tourism business to get going. It might happen instantly. When did you decide to launch it?
I think this was the 31st of May. So
okay.
2.5 weeks ago.
Fantastic. And so what has happened since then? You launched it, you've set up a website, you've produced leaflets, you've given them out, you're talking to people.
Visitors from United States, Brazil, Romania, Ukraine, Germany, Ireland. I've got all over the world. I've got visitors already.
From onto your website.
Onto my website, yeah.
Brilliant. And have you had you've had visitors? What happens? What do the visitors do? Can you send me your website link?
Yeah.
In the chat window.
Here?
Yeah. Then I can just. Did you get that?
No. Where's the? I don't see a chat window.
You on the phone or are you on your
On my. Oh yeah. I see it. Yeah. One moment.
If you just put it in there, then I can go straight to the website and we can have a look.
Yes. Yeah, I never set up so fast a website.
Good.
It's really.
What did you use?
Well, I used Blogger.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, I hope I typed it right.
Conversation excursion. I mean, I think it is a great idea,
Yeah.
and it definitely will work. Look, the website looks nice. It's simple.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah.
It's just probably because I was clicking on it. So, what can people do when they come to your website?
Well, they can.
How do they contact you? I'm looking at this.
How can they contact me? I can just my mail there with the Reinders, the Roelien. They can mail me. They can phone me.
Roelien.
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay. So it's got your about me. It's got your okay. Right. I think it's great. I like it. I like it a lot, and it's simple, and it's. It's too cheap really, but still, it's best to get some business.
Yeah, it's until, that's why I said until the end of July, So,
Yeah, of course. So then you can.
I know it's too cheap, but.
Right. So that is Blogspot. Yeah, SK. It's nice. I like it. Okay, so I'm looking at the FAQ now. Got it. Okay. This is a Google one, is it? Blogger?
Yes, it's a Google one, yeah.
It integrates with G+ quite nicely. Yeah. So you've So you've had visits because you can see the stats. How many actual inquiries have you had?
No, not one yet.
You haven't had any yet.
No. And not from people on my website.
No, you've had them from people physically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, of course, the ones that are physically going to be interested are the ones that are here in Amsterdam, right?
Uh-uh.
Presumably. I mean, whereas people are probably looking from all over the world.
Well, I'm not sure how those stats work, in fact, because I wonder if they work through geolocation or that or if they're reading out the SIM cards of the people who are here. I mean, if you're here and you've got a Russian SIM card, what do the stats say? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Normally, it comes from the IP address, which is just the node at which you access the internet.
Yeah, and
So,
that's your SIM card. That's on your SIM card then if you go through mobile.
mm. So if they're coming through the mobile, they might be anywhere. But if they're if
Exactly, because if it says Ukraine, it can be someone who is actually in Amsterdam.
yeah, at the time. So okay. So what's the next action on this?
Well, the next action is just writing a few more blogs, plus see if there are any more places that I can put some flyers.
Can you? I mean, I'm just thinking of marketing. Can you not record some short videos of you? Even
Yeah,
if it's audio recordings, because even like what we're doing now, when people listen to it, they can hear the voice, they can pick up your energy. It doesn't have to be a video. I mean, even if you could just do some Google Hangouts on your own, where you're just talking, 5-minute one, and you're just saying, "Oh, okay, this is the sort of thing that we might do if we were going to a supermarket." Um,
actually, I tried to do. I did some, but then something went wrong with editing because I was editing this. I was using this YouTube editing tool.
oh yeah,
Then they cut off the wrong piece, and it happened to me all the time. So
you
I'm not
can
sure.
go back. You can
Yeah,
undo in the YouTube editing tool.
you can undo it.
Yeah, you can go back to the original file.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried this, but I couldn't do this either.
I would do that just because it's nice. You've got a blog and that's great, but people these days would like the idea of probably being able to see a
Yeah,
little, but just
yeah.
see you chatting. Yeah?
I'll as soon as I finish my non-smoking book.
Yeah,
So next
exactly. Well, this is the thing, but still, you're playing a long game here. Even with this, I think that this is undoubtedly good. How much it will be a part of your life in the future, I don't know, because obviously it's not going to scale very well, but it could be something that'd be quite nice to do quite often. But I don't think it's going to happen instantly for you again. I can't see this if we well let's just look at the maths of it. If you haven't had any inquiries yet, we don't know. It's only when you've got 20 or so inquiries that you know how likely they are to convert and what will happen in the future. You can't really do any statistical analysis on zero because you don't know. It might be it might go to 1 over the next 100 years or in the next day, and you can't really tell. So you really need and the website might be just for credibility. It might be you bump into someone, you're out and about, you say, listen, I see you're trying to learn English. Here, go to my website, get in touch with me, or I'm happy to do a tour. And then they then go and read more about you from the website as part of their follow-up when they meet you or hear about you, rather than actually they browse and they discover it through browsing.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, no, it sounds that'll definitely work. The only question would be, if we're applying the scientific analysis to this, what evidence have you got that this will work within a reasonable enough time frame for it to solve your temporary cash flow problems?
Hmm.
You see, at the moment you don't have any evidence, so it doesn't mean that it won't, but it might be that you have to. This is a really difficult one, because like all the success literature you read will say, well, you've got to be committed and you've got to devote your entire energy to something, and so, well, the problem with that is you might run out of cash in the meantime
Yeah.
because you
Mm-mm.
don't really know. And look, it's not possible scientifically for all businesses to work in exactly the same way. Business is not mathematical at all. So some businesses have longer gestation periods than others. Some businesses make more. Some businesses suddenly go viral. Some take 5, 10, 20 years. Some take a long time, but then they last a long time. You can't possibly know when you embark out on a business project exactly how long it's going to take. You can't even know how much money you're going to make or how valuable it's going to be. You can only trust your intuition and say, I think this is probably going to be good, but you can't extrapolate your intuition to produce a fixed amount by a certain time. So I suppose that the thing that I'm saying is that um, let's make sure that you're not make sure that you have the option. I mean, I'm not saying get a job, but I'm saying make sure that you are giving yourself the best chance to bring in income in a relatively controllable way in a short enough time for you to start not stop going backwards. And it might be. Whoa, what was that? I said
A helicopter.
it's okay. I'm not saying get a job, but I'm also not saying don't get a job either. I'm saying, this is your intuition at stake here, and
I don't know. I don't know my intuition because all the time I had for the last 4 months, I was thinking all the time I was thinking, why in heaven's name am I learning Romanian? Why in heaven's name am I doing this? But I
then here you
went
go.
on and on, and now tomorrow I'm actually going to people that might be some a kind of link because I really don't know why I was doing it. Why
Well, and that's great. That's brilliant. And it might well be that this is exactly perfect for you. They might have a teaching stroke, translating stroke, helping role that's perfect for you, that fits exactly with what you want to do. It might well be. And if you go in with that impression in the sausage machine and say, look, I don't know why I was learning Romanian. This is obviously part of it. It might be this, or it might be that this leads to something else. But if you go in totally open with everything's perfect for right now, but sometimes I suppose the bottom line is you do have to trust your intuition. You have to go with it. If you feel that it's the right thing to do, you've got to do it. So like learn Romanian, set up the Dutch conversation excursions, and you should never do something that you really feel isn't the right thing to do, even if it does solve your short-term problems, if you genuinely feel that it isn't right. But so for example, if you say, oh, if part of your script will probably say, why don't you just go back and get quite a nice, well-paid job, and then try and work out what to do with your other businesses and your writing later. I'm sure part of it is that because it's easy, because then you take care of all your financial worries, and you know that that's not right, don't you?
I know that that's not right, but it also didn't turn to be that easy.
Correct. So you know that's not right. So it might be that you the sort of avenues that you're pursuing are absolutely fine, and only you know that because of your current situation. But like as I said, if you're we're all in the same situation. All of us in a way. We're as soon as we no longer have a boss, as soon as no one is actually telling us what to do or paying us a regular amount, I haven't worked for anybody else since 2007, right? It's quite a long time. It's been a long time since I've had. Of course, I have contracts to do stuff, but as a consultant, that's what happens. And you get engagements where you're doing, a keynote or a workshop or a seminar, all that sort of stuff. But essentially, I haven't got anyone actually telling me what to do. So we're very much in the same position. And lots of things, lots of avenues I pursue don't lead anywhere at all in the short term. And I
Yeah.
look back and I think, oh, that was a bit of a waste of time. Well, the script says that. Of course, it isn't, because of what you learn and because of the people you meet and because of where you're. I mean, I'm in the perfect position now, and I couldn't have got here if I hadn't gone through all these realizations and all this, this journey and all that sort of stuff. However, I there are times where I had to do temporarily things which I knew weren't where I wanted to end up. I had to take some contracts on that wasn't the optimal use of my time because my kids still had to eat.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And you could argue if I'd stuck to my intuition even more, then maybe I would have learnt even more and been in a better position and so on. So I was only as honest as I could be at the time, or only as aware as I could be at the time. And so I only made the decisions that I felt were right for me at that moment in time. I don't really know whether they were the right ones, but given who I was at the time, they were the best decisions. So given who you are now, you're making the best decisions. The key thing would be that if you could have even if you could work in a local florist's or a horticultural centre or something like that, um, could would that be something that would be moving you? You see, even if you're not doing what you want to end up doing, if it's moving you a little bit closer because it's allowing time for these other things to grow, then it's perfectly okay to do it.
Yes, well, the only issue is that, like, things for working in a shop, I don't think that I'm such a suitable person. I think when I would come there and some other people would come there, why would they choose me?
You know what's going to be appropriate for you, and I'm not saying. I'm just saying that it might be that you look to get some. Well, you're going to see how this is going to go anyway tomorrow, aren't you? So you'll know better then, this Romanian thing.
Yeah. Actually, I was very surprised how things go, and also like with this language thing. I don't make much money with it, but I was kind of surprised to find out how easy it all went. You know how.
That's a good sign.
Yes, exactly, and also now here with this Romanian thing, it goes so easy.
Yeah, and these are good signs, and you're the only person that has to live your life. I can give you thoughts, perspectives which might be useful, but you have to make the moment-to-moment decisions that are based on your understanding and your ability to notice whether it's really your script or your intuition. And in general, if you're not sure, and either A or B seem to give you the similar sort of feeling and the similar sort of perspective, and neither of them necessarily seems to be getting you closer in a way that you can understand to where you want to go, best thing to do is to choose the easiest one. When everything else is the same, just choose. So if it is easy for you to do this and to follow that, then it can't really be that wrong, right?
Yeah, I think that maybe what I think is good is not how other people see me. Like other people see me, oh, this person is perfect to do this translation stuff or so. In fact, it never occurred to me that I could do it because I have no certificates, nothing, to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always possible. At the end of the day, you can't really possibly know how you are coming across. You can only believe that you are. You can only believe that you're putting the right things into the sausage machine. So, for example, I believe that I'm coming across well. I think that I'm great. I think that I'm doing. It's going to be helpful for me to believe that I'm putting in the right thing and that people are going to see my abilities and my talents. It's not helpful for you to think that maybe they won't see how good you are or whether you are capable. So you might as well say, well, listen, I just carry on doing what I think's right, and I'll know pretty soon. Look, you're not going to go to jail. You're not going to end up You're not going to end up starving. So you will find a way of working out how to solve your problem.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking the same because in the past I experienced a lot of problems, but obviously it worked out somehow because I'm still there. So
Exactly. You've got this, humans have got this huge safety factor, this ability to kind of deal with situations. So look, well, let's say worst case scenario, I'm sure you could find a way of, um, I don't know, you're a smart enough lady, you could work out what to do. I mean, there might be something, I don't know whether you even own property or things like that, but you know, you're not, they won't throw you in jail, and they don't throw people in jail for not paying their bills anymore. They used to do that a few years ago. And also, you're not going to starve. You've got too many friends. So
Yeah, exactly.
you will find a way out. The question is it going to be helpful to you to put any pressure on you that you need to do things sooner rather, you need these things to grow more quickly than they are, or is it more helpful for you to say, look, actually, my genes got me to here. I've physically been alive through a few difficult situations in the past, and I've made it. So actually, all that happens if you worry about stuff as you go along is that you miss out on the fun of the journey. I'm not saying you're never going to worry, because I worry about stuff. I prefer not to, and I notice a lot when I am, and so I worry very little compared to, say, the average person. But I still go into my script, and I always will.
Well, I think the thing I should do is to have more mental and emotional discipline.
Okay, I agree those things are good. What makes you think that that's true? Because it might be, but let me know.
Because when I was talking to you, this was the 1st of May, and then you gave me the suggestion. Okay, just think, millions of people enjoy my work,
Yeah,
and I started doing that, but also with the feeling with it, and then
yeah,
when was it? 5 weeks later, it already manifested.
correct.
So then I think, oh, or like other things that I don't want to do, kind of thinking of my ex-boyfriend all the time, and then
Mm.
suddenly I see someone that looks exactly like him, things like that. I know it goes fast, but I must have more discipline to do the visualize the right thing and
Yeah, look,
get the emotion in it.
you're right, but if you feel that that's a problem, look, you're as good as you can be all the time, right? Now, which means you're as good at noticing when you're in the script as you can be at the time. Now, obviously, you would choose. You know that visualization and mental discipline, using your willpower to direct your attention on what you want. You know that it works. You've got the evidence of it working in your life. You believe me when I tell you that it works, and you believe all the successful people who talk about that. So you know that it works, but you can only do it as much as you can do it, right? So
I can
if
do
you're
it
getting
more.
annoyed with yourself or feeling, oh, I should do it more, then that's not helpful in itself. So just say, look, all you've done is, instead of beating yourself up for not doing it more, you should say, you know what, I did this and it worked. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And listen, you're not in this on your own. That's the beauty. That's why I like the groups, and the groups are really supportive. The WhatsApp groups, I think it's an amazing. It wasn't really my idea for it to be as it is, but everyone's kind of going straight to the source now and finding their own ways of putting things across. And so the value that we're all getting from it, because everyone brings stuff to it, is just insane now. But I think the key is like this, right? I believe it like this, very, very simple. In your brain, you've got like a team of engineers building a pathway to whatever you think about the most. And if you think about, the millions of people enjoying your work, they start building that pathway. So it gets easier to think about that because the pathway is there, and then it happens, right? So
But Tom, in my book about stopping to smoke, when I read it now, when I was translating it, and then I didn't know the script yet, this concept of the script. But when I look at it now, what I'm doing in this book is that I have two parts of the script fight each other, and in that way, kind of conquer the addiction.
brilliant.
So I could do this again.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you see the script for your point of view, your script is kind of big, but from my background, I would kind of divide the script in maybe different things that I would give a different name. But it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, yeah, divide and conquer. Listen, whatever works. At the end of the day, helpful is more important than true, as I always say. Like, whatever works for you and is working, do more of it. Whatever isn't working, stop it. What worked for you quite in 5 weeks' time is you visualized millions of people enjoying your work. Somehow you attracted that situation in, and you got onto a website where millions of people were looking at something that you've done. So, okay, that's evidence that you can pull into your life whatever you really focus on the most, and it'll happen ridiculously quickly when you really focus on it. So you've got this, but you've also got the practicality of saying you've got to give the universe a chance. You can't expect it to say, okay, if you say, look, I sell 1 million copies of my book. Yeah, it can happen, absolutely. Absolutely, it can happen, and there's no reason why it couldn't happen within a few weeks. If you've got a book out there, but it's as Wattle says, it's the work of human hands and the ordinary existing processes of nature that'll work. So millions of people enjoy your work gives the universe more of a chance to deliver, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
if you say, okay, I want to talk in front of 100,000 people by the end of August, what'll happen is that subconscious into it. So you've got to use so much willpower to try and get yourself to talk about that I don't know whether my estimation is that you might have your engineers building the road towards that thing, but they're not being fed very well, so they won't be doing a good job because you don't really
No,
believe
but
it yourself.
no, but I think that's the difference between an affirmation and to do it differently, because I can't do any affirmations too, because
Yeah,
it is more important. The feeling is more important.
right.
So I cannot do like an affirmation of like, oh, I'm rich, because it doesn't work because I can't feel it. But I can do an affirmation. I can do something like, oh, it's how great it would be to have lots of money, and then I could come to this feeling. Then I could. And
You're right. You've got it. And also, ultimately, you can't cheat the universe. You will only get what you want as a result of giving other people what they want. So millions of people enjoy my work is a brilliant way of doing it because, and that's going to work more quickly for you because you are literally saying that your result is, or what you get is a result of other people getting what they want, which is enjoyment. So I think that affirmations are, I mean, there's lots of things that I think we're told to do by traditional success literature which aren't particularly helpful. And I think what happens is if without the awareness of the script, you say, oh, I'm rich, and the script says, no, you're not, no, you're not. And then you say, no, I'm rich, I'm getting, and the script says, you're just joking, this is a waste of time, you'll never do that. So I think you're right there. I think you should go for a feeling. Look, the more you can feel something that makes you feel good, you enjoy it better right now, and you will be in harmony with the universe as well, and creating more of that in the future. I mean, the physics of it is resonance, and when you operate at a certain resonant frequency of something else, then you attract it to you. And that's the same. That's the actual physics of it. And there's lots of sort of quantum mechanics and all sorts of stuff about when things get in perfect resonance, they basically can transmit electricity without any energy loss. Because when you get electrons traveling in a pair, in other words, they've set up a resonant relationship. They don't get knocked off course easily, which means that you can literally have what would be, superconducting materials that conduct with no resistance. Now, all this happens as a result of a resonant exchange of energy between particle A and particle B. Now, really, how do we know that the thoughts that we have don't actually do this? What would be more helpful, to believe that they did or to believe that they didn't? We can't prove that they don't. There's a lot of success literature and principles of physics and what Wattles are saying and all that, that says this stuff. When we apply it in our own lives, we find that it works. When we look at Olympic athletes and footballers that do well, and teams that do well, you can see that they are kind of visualizing and projecting and all that sort of stuff. So we know that there's enough evidence. You can't prove anything, but we know there's enough evidence for it working, and it's worked in our own lives. So if you can just go to that feeling whenever you can and keep working on that, but be open to the fact that your intuition will be giving you ways to act right now, moment to moment as well. Anyway.
Yes. Well.
The main thing you should really be is that realize that it's exciting. You are going to work out. You're not going to die. You're not going to go to jail. The worst case scenario will be that you stay in your script more, and like you get grumpy and miserable, and you don't lose your friends, but you're not fun to be around.
I already had that chance so often, long time ago. So I'm
exactly
beyond that already.
Exactly. So there you go. So that's not so. That's not going to happen. So then it's almost like, okay, well, let's enjoy this experience. Could you enjoy what you're going through a little bit more than you are right now?
Yes, definitely. I think it's a challenge to jump ahead, jump forward.
If you could enjoy this whole experience, what's happening to you, say 10% more or 20% more, just say 10% more, would that be better? Would you feel better?
Yes, I think I don't know. I'm thinking of the script, and I'm thinking of what I did when stopping to smoke, and I'm just trying to think there must be a way to get over this, the same way that I tricked my mind when I stopped smoking.
Yeah.
There must be something to conquer this script, or to do, or to put parts of it
At war with each other, yeah. Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer, exactly. Exactly. That's what I did a couple of times already.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, maybe the whole reason you're going through this is because of all the hundreds of thousands of people out there in the world that are going to appreciate your perspective when you go through and work out something that works. In the same way as you did it for smoking.
Yes, well, it's possible.
I mean, what would you lose by realizing that what you're going through now could be experienced, is probably now being experienced by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people worldwide, and that your awareness of a way through will help thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay, there must be a way through, I'm sure.
Well, there is. Without a shadow of doubt, we'll laugh at this in about a year's time. We'll look back and we'll laugh and we'll say, "Oh, that was fun, wasn't it?" But think how much we learned. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go now. Just stay in touch. See in the chats. Let us know. But if you could just enjoy the whole process, disappointments, script moments, non-script moments, more, I think that would be kind of an interesting experiment, wouldn't it? Because to see yourself as a living experiment of how to deal with all these things, and what to do when you don't know what to do, and how to think when you don't know how to think. I think that could be quite cool.
Yes, well, we will survive no matter what. Even when we're dead, we'll still survive.
Yeah, exactly. We live on. These recordings are going to last forever, or perhaps even longer. This is incredible, really. You think people will be watching this in a few years' time, listening to these words, and not really probably never meeting us, never even knowing anymore, and just stumbling across it. So, what we're creating is an incredible resource for people. And the whole story, everyone's story as it unfolds over time, over year on year, over the next 13 years initially, but or longer, will be a great digital archive of unfolding greatness. Really, it'll be exciting.
Well, this archive has already been there for 10, 20,000 years already.
Of course.
Just not so easily to tap into, but
Yeah.
it has
Not as
been there
easy to
already.
share, but it's in it with us genetically, of course. Roelien, this is amazing. Great conversation as always. You're a deep thinker. You think a lot. You love thinking, don't you?
No, I don't not thinking at all. I've been doing it too much, really. Thinking
Correct.
is
I know.
overestimated, really.
That's what I'm teasing you about. Yeah. But anyway, just enjoy this week, and let me know how things go, and we'll catch up again in a few weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice
have
one.
fun. Bye
Cheers, and
bye.
bye.